Hello and welcome back to the Pasta Podcast, where we talk about nothing but pasta. Today we will not be talking about pasta. Today we will be talking about Christmas. I am, of course, the pasta chef. My name is Gigi. What is your name?
Olivia.
How you doing, Olivia?
I'm good. Today we're doing this live action, everyone.
Yeah,
We're
it's really
together.
weird.
We're together in person, and it is very strange, and we're not used to it yet. But this is our season ender, so we thought it'd be special.
Yeah, and also this is being uploaded on Christmas, so
Yeah.
it's extra fun.
And you want to talk about what's going to happen after Christmas, Gigi?
Yeah, so after Christmas we're taking a week break. We'll return, I think, on the 8th to have a new season of the Pasta Podcast, season 2, and it's going to be very fun. So it's very difficult.
We're very aimless today. We don't have much to talk about. We just thought we'd talk about Christmas. Um, I think it's a good time to talk about our how our Christmases have been celebrated over the years.
Oh yeah,
Our we for the fam that want to get in on the Gigi and Olivia lore, we are raised Catholics. Whether we believe in it or not is not relevant.
yeah,
We're obligated. You know how like cats are like obligated carnivores? We're obligated Catholics.
we're obligated.
We had no choice.
I'm also an obligated Italian, so I titled this episode "Feast of the Seven Pastas" because Feast with the Seven Dishes is a Christmas Italian Christmas dinner.
Yo.
And we're not a fish podcast, we're the pasta podcast, so I couldn't put fish.
I like the play on words.
Yeah, it's very nice. I told my mom about it and she approves, so it's Italian approved. So yeah, we have memories, I think.
Let's start from the very beginning, Gigi. Year 1. What do you remember?
Nothing.
Okay, year 2. What do you remember?
Nothing.
Okay, I remember some of year 2. I think. I don't actually know. No, okay, so the first Christmas I remember having is it was at my very first house, I believe. And I remember I remember getting one of those like little like I it wasn't an iPad. We didn't have iPads yet. Those weren't even a thought yet.
Yeah.
We had like a magnetic drawboard and it was Barbie themed. And it was like you could draw on it and it would be like magnets
Yeah.
that you drew with. And I lived off that thing. I loved that thing so much.
Yeah.
I spent all my time on that thing.
I think one of the earliest presents I remember receiving, I think I got it for Christmas, was I got like a puppet theater, like a small little puppet theater, and I don't remember if it came with puppets or if I got them separately, but I made puppets, and then I would just make little skits, and they were not fun, but I forced my family to watch them. And also I couldn't pronounce theater, so I said teeter. It was a puppet teeter. So that was
Oh,
fun.
that was the ongoing family joke then, huh?
Yeah, that was the current ongoing family joke before something else happened, which we don't have to talk about. But yeah, I also mentioned that puppet theater to my brother yesterday, and he was like, "No, it wasn't a puppet theater; it was a puppet teeter." So he still remembers.
Yo, whoa!
And he still wants to make fun of me for it.
That's cruel right there.
Yeah,
you were a child.
I know. I was like 5.
I actually like now that you mention that, I think I have an earlier memory than the one that I was currently talking about.
Unlocked memory.
An earlier memory. I don't know how old I was. I have a picture of the incident, and I think I was like literally 2 years old.
The incident.
It wasn't an incident, but okay. So the current memory I was talking about, I want to say I was like 4 or 5 maybe, but the one I'm talking about, I think I was like around 2 or 3. So it was basically I went to this Christmas party with because my family has like annual Christmas parties with everyone. And so it was one of those, and I remember I got a doll, and the doll's name, it had a little name embroidered on it, and it said Olivia. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's mine. And I was like playing with her, and like something happened where, like, okay, and you know how old people are? They'll just sit there and watch little kids.
Yeah.
And and I looked at the doll, and something happened to the doll. Like I was pretending something happened to the doll, right? And then I said to the doll, "Oh, poor her." And everybody thought that was so funny. And so, and my mom to this day will come up to me and say, "Oh, poor her." And so, it's very, yeah. In other words, family does not let things go.
I think that one of my favorite memories of Christmas is like Christmas morning. You know, when you're a kid and you walk down the stairs and you see and usually it's like, I don't know why, but it's always early in the morning. I always wake up at like 5 or 6 a.m. It doesn't matter how old I am. I'm always so excited
Oh
for
yeah,
Christmas that I wake up. I think the latest I've ever woke up on Christmas was like 7.
that is
um,
so unlike you.
it is so
For
unlike me.
context, I've seen the latest Gigi get up is 3 p.m.
That was one time. The other times it's usually 2 or 2:30. Okay, give me some credit. Okay, so anyways, um,
Sorry,
scene change.
embarrassing.
Um, but yeah, I love that feeling of like walking down the stairs and it's still dark outside because it's 5 a.m. And the tree's lit up and there's all these presents under the tree and you're just like, this is a good day. You know,
Oh my
it's
gosh,
one of those days. It's
Gigi,
the
you're gonna
best
bring a
day.
tear to my eye.
It's the best day to wake up, honestly. Because, like, how many days of your life can you remember being so happy in the morning? Like, I've never been
I know.
happy in the morning except on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Because it's
Oh.
like it's an experience. And my mom always makes, still to this day, she always makes like good hot chocolate, like over the stove hot chocolate for the morning. And now what she started doing was she bought like little, like those croissants that you can like let rise for like overnight and then like bake
Mhm.
from like Trader Joe's. They're really good, and she'll like put them in the oven Christmas Eve, and then like not cooked, but like put them in the oven so that
Like
she
to
could just
proof.
turn it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she'll turn on the oven in the morning, and then when I come downstairs, there'll be hot chocolate and croissants, and then I get to open my stocking
Oh.
presents.
Oh, that's the best. I
It
don't
is the
care
best.
how old you are. I on Christmas Day, I feel like I'm 5
I do too.
at the oldest. Like I'm like so excited to open stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that my normal Christmas morning traditions, I think like the earliest I used to wake up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was my dad has like this alarm clock that like projects the light on the ceiling. Like you used to have one, I think.
Yeah. I used to have
And
one.
yeah, it like projects the time on the ceiling. And so I used to like lay on the side of the bed and like I would lay on the floor with my parents because I would just be so excited I couldn't contain myself and I couldn't sleep. And I would like look at the clock on a ceiling and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's 5 a.m. Let me wake them up."
Yeah.
Or another time I was just like, and this is very like it was my favorite part is like I used to have my in my old house I used to have my bed really close to the window.
Hmm.
And so that way I could see out the window if I just looked up. And I remember one time I was having such a hard time sleeping because I was so excited and I couldn't calm down. And so I kept looking out the window and there is this constellation. I forget what it's called. I'm gonna look it up because I really wanna talk about it. But it's one of my favorite constellations. It's not my favorite. It might be Orion's belt. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. I'll love me a good belt.
Yeah, it's Orion's belt. And so I would always stare at Orion's belt. And I would like stare at it and like keep track of it throughout the sky. And I would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's getting so late at night. It's already over there." And I would just stay up. And I don't know if your parents did this, but my dad had a Santa tracker on his computer.
My mom always had the Santa tracker like app. I don't know if it was an app or she just went
It
to
was
the
like a
website.
website, yeah,
Yeah. We would always like on
on the
Christmas Eve, I
computer.
would always like randomly come up to her like every 10 minutes, I swear to God. Every 10 minutes I would come up to her and I'd be like, "Where's Santa now?" And then she would be like, "Okay, I'll check." But I know in her head she was going, "Jesus fucking Christ, kid. He's in the same place."
No,
But
I
he was
think
always in a different place actually.
no, you know what? I think my
And it
that
never made sense. He didn't go in like a straight line.
no, he didn't. I was just about to say that. It never made
He's in
sense.
Nepal, he's in New York. That's not
He's fast. He's going in alphabetical order of names, Gigi. But yeah, that was always weird. Because I did that with my dad too, and I wouldn't know. Like I didn't understand geography when I was little, and so he would just like be like, "Oh, he's getting closer." That's what he would say. He's getting closer. You should go to sleep now.
Yeah, that's what my mom would always say too. And then we would check back like right before bed and he would be nowhere near us. Like, where did he go? He was just in
Yeah, I know.
California.
Or I know that like my one time I was like, okay, we set cookies out, and did you set carrots out too for the
Oh
reindeer?
yeah, I did a couple years at least.
Yeah, we used to set cookies, milk, and carrots for the reindeer. And there's actually a funny story about that too. Um but that's in one of the later years actually. So we set cookies, carrots, and milk. We used to do that every year.
Mhm.
Um I think sometimes we still leave cookies out just for
Yeah,
funsies.
it is fun.
But
It's still magical, even though know who's eating them. Because then in the morning you're like, oh my god, some of the milk is gone and the cookies have a bite out of them.
yeah, oh my gosh, it's such a cool thing to see. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
especially with the carrots, because like then you're like, this is a reindeer bite. You know,
Yeah.
it's like different.
I know
Even
that
though
my
it's
mom just
obvious.
went
Yeah, even though like that's obviously like a human bite, you're like, this is a reindeer bite. This is special. Rudolph ate this.
I know. Oh my
I could
gosh.
sell this.
But no, I loved that. There's just something so magical about a fat man breaking into your house via chimney.
Jimmy. You know what? Let's give him credit. That is a very creative way to break in. I don't think anybody else
Yeah.
would have thought about
Yeah, we have a chimney cover. One time I woke up and like the cookies were gone and the carrots were bitten into and the milk was drunken. And on the plate, because it was a paper plate, written in marker was "Thanks for the cookies, dash Santa," and it was in my mom's handwriting.
it.
And I said, I'm like, okay, like I had addressed it to my father. And
Mhm.
my father is when I was little, he was very into that. He was very much into like pretending Santa is the bunny and the tooth fairy and stuff. He was very into that.
Yeah.
Now he's just into stocks. But which also this is not the time to be into it anyways. But he he I like told him once, I was like, yeah, when the cookies were gone, it was mommy's handwriting written into it. And he was like, oh, see, he does that so you can read the handwriting. He changes his handwriting.
I would
He
have
was
never
like,
thought about that. If my kid came up to me, if I ever had kids, if my kid came up to me and they said that, I would just be like, okay, you found out. you know?
I was like, oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, that's so smart. No, I always like kind of noticed that my like Santa's handwriting looked a little bit like my mom's, but my mom didn't like she would sign it in cursive. Santa would sign it in cursive. So I didn't know what my mom's handwriting exactly looked like when she signed in cursive except like her signature because I had seen her sign her signature and that's it. Um and Santa doesn't use a lot of P's.
No.
Um, so I was just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of looks like my mom's handwriting, but look at that fancy S. You can't tell me that Santa didn't sign that. I don't know what kind of like the S would have like little spirals
Yeah.
in the top, and then it would be like very swoopy.
Swoopy. We gotta address how that's like the best well kept secret for kids.
Yeah,
Like,
because like I like to this day I know that I have a niece and nephew, so it's like also important for me to say this. But even on Christmas Day when they're not like here like around me, I'm always like, thank you, Santa, because that gets me into the habit of being like, first off, it gets me in the spirit because it's like, Santa gave this to me. But secondly, it means that later when they're like, what did Santa give you? I can name things that Santa gave me,
yeah.
so that they're not like, you know, just in case they're trying to catch me slipping. I got it.
Well, let's go back to our Christmas presents. So what do you think are like your favorite Christmas presents you've gotten over the year?
Ooh, I don't. The only one that I remember like actively getting, which I think it was addressed to the family, but I opened it. You had gotten an iPad like earlier in the year,
Oh my god, don't talk about that.
and you were like so. I gotta tell you, you were so cocky about it. You were like, I got an iPad. It was like,
No, don't bring it up. Tell your side of the story and I'll tell mine.
and then that year I got an iPad for Christmas, and it was supposed to be a family iPad, but it was basically my iPad. I hoarded it.
It was yours.
It was mine. Till the day died, it was mine. um, and I remember like texting you on that iPad like the whole day. Like
I
the whole
know.
day, I would text you. I was like, Olivia, I got an iPad. And then you would text back and be like, what? And I would be like, yeah, what did you get for Christmas? And then you'd tell me. And for some reason, even if it wasn't like I didn't think it was any better, I would be like, I'm so jealous of your present.
No, we gotta I was so cocky. I always no, it was a constant competition between the two of us on who got a better Christmas present. We
Yeah.
were like constantly one upping each other. And
Yeah.
like when I talk about our friendship when we were little, it does not sound like we were friends. We did not sound like we liked each other
The
very well.
greatest friendships always start with hating each other.
No, because like I just remember like Gigi would text me all the time, and then like I would be like, okay, I'm gonna stop texting now, and you'd be like, why? And I was like, oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, I was every time that you talk about like our childhood, which I don't remember a lot of, I'm always like, why was I kind of a bitch?
We were both. We were not very nice kids. And I always say like, you know how I was bullied, but I also think I was a bigger bully.
Yeah.
And I understand why people didn't like me. And sometimes I think to myself, I wish I could go back and just apologize.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one thing that I remember I said to like one of our I said this thing to one of our classmates once, and I kind of regret saying it. Because it was when we were in Catholic school, so I was like very, God is good and all that stuff.
Yo,
um, but I was like, um, I think it was Jack and Matthew.
I'm gonna blur out the names.
Yeah, I will. But I remember they said, I remember that they said that they I remember that they said they didn't want kids. And me not wanting kids now makes, I'm like, yeah, I agree. But I was like very hard on like, no, you have to have kids. That is your goal in life, or something like that. I don't remember what I said, but I remember being like overtly rude about this. And looking back, I'm like, okay, well, one of them was a lesbian, and the other one was very clearly like neurodivergent. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have been bullying either.
Oh my god. Yeah, we
I was
were
so mean.
No, I was pretty mean too. Cause I mean, I I was just like I okay. The only time it hit with me that I was being mean was like the first time in like God, I don't remember when it was, but I was like a freshman in high school and I was being like that to someone like I was being myself.
Yeah.
And so they looked at me and they said, "Why are you being so mean to me?" And it like took me back. And I was like, "Oh my God." I'm
You're like,
so
oh my
sorry.
god, I am being kind of mean.
And it was a reality check. And I think that's how you gotta solve bullying. You
Yeah.
gotta tell people they're being mean because they don't realize it. I didn't realize it. I didn't know I was being mean. I thought I was just being funny. And they were like, "Why are you being so mean?" I was like, "Oh my god, I'm being mean."
Yeah.
And there's that state of, the 5 stages of grief or whatever,
Yeah.
where you're like, I wasn't being mean. I was just like joking around.
Yeah.
But then, I was
Yeah.
being. This is off topic, I know.
Uh,
But
yeah. Getting back on topic.
Christmas presents. One of my favorite Christmas. I would always get my favorite Christmas presents from like my my richer family members. Um, and one of them was a Nintendo DS. The
Oh
other one
yeah.
was a Nintendo 3DS. And I lived off those things. I
Yeah.
lived off.
I remember, I think I got it for my birthday, not Christmas, but I remember getting my Nintendo DS and I was like so excited. It was
Hmm.
my favorite thing. And I don't
You
think
got
I
a
ever let
3DS
it
too,
go.
right?
I didn't get a 3DS. You got a 3DS and I was very jealous.
See, that was another one of those things where
Yeah.
I was like, I got this.
Yeah, and then I'm sure that immediately after you showed me that, I was like, "Mom, can I have a 3DS?" And she was like, "You have a DS already." And I would be like, "But Olivia got one." um but yeah, I cherished that thing. Um and the thing is I remember like every Christmas I always got one good gift that I like absolutely loved and it trumped all the other gifts. You know how it is. But I don't remember what any of those were except for like the electronics.
Oh yeah.
I do
I
remember there was one year where my brother he was just really starting to get into music, and my mom and dad had bought him like this like I don't remember if it was a guitar or I think it was like an amp and a guitar, so like it would plug in, and I was just like so jealous because I was like, this is a gigantic thing that they got him. A bit, like you know how you see wrapped presents as a kid, and it was like really big, and my biggest one was like about this big.
Yeah.
It was like the size of a laptop, so it wasn't like the best thing.
We had small taste. We didn't have
Yeah,
large taste.
but it's still like on Christmas Day, you're like that one must be mine, and you're pointing at the biggest one, and then it's not yours, and you're like, oh,
See,
that doesn't feel good.
but the funniest thing is that even though I know, having big presents doesn't necessarily make it better,
Yeah,
I still get excited when I see a big present.
yeah,
I still think, oh my gosh, if that's mine, it's over with.
yeah,
Like I'm getting the best one. And a lot of the times it'll be a gigantic like pajamas, and I'll be like, oh.
yeah. Sometimes it's like a big bag of presents, and you're like, there's 15,000 things in there, and then there's just like a smaller wrapped present in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like the
And
size.
then there's a small present, and then you pick it up and it's heavy, and then you open it and it's an iPhone, and you're like, yo.
Yeah. I never got an iPhone or anything for Christmas because I usually got them for my birthday, and like I would actually go to the store and buy them because usually I don't know why they always tend to break around my birthday, which is exactly when my last one broke. My last one broke on July 17th, which was the day after my birthday. And I was just like, Jesus. Like it wouldn't charge and everything, so I was like, okay, well, that's fun. um, but yeah, I do remember one of the presents that I got. I thought it was a laptop, and it was not a laptop, but I was still excited. It was my little movie player. It was like
Yeah.
it looked like a really tiny laptop
Yo,
to
now
my
that
credit,
you
and I was like 10. So I was like, and then I was like, oh, it's a movie thing, but I have to pretend that I still am really excited about it.
I for a while I like really wanted a iPhone or something. And so that's when my mom got me an iPad mini because she wasn't ready for me to have a phone yet.
Yeah,
And to be fair, I wasn't ready to have a
yeah.
phone yet. But
I'm still not ready.
I'm still not ready. I still don't know what to do with it. But I just remember like getting the iPad mini. I felt unstoppable.
Yeah.
I loved that thing. I like my life was on there.
Yeah.
I Five Nights at Freddy's. I played that on there. Minecraft. I played so much stuff on there. I lived off that thing.
Yeah.
And my case was green and white purely because those were the Rhett and Link colors.
It's so lame.
Wait, did I say red and white? I mean green and white.
Yeah.
Green.
Anyways, um, yeah, I do. That's the other thing is that's why I was also excited for the iPad because I was like, oh my god, I can play Minecraft with Olivia. um, because I don't think that I wasn't really able to get into it because I didn't have a computer, so I could only play on my brother's computer, and he
Hmm.
never let me play on my his
Oh yeah.
computer
Oh yeah.
because you know how teenage boys are. They don't want to. They don't want to let you play with their computer. It's their stuff. Um, and like I got it, but I was like, you got me into this. So I'm sure my brother was also happy when I got an iPad, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna play Minecraft on this
Oh
because
my
I would have
god.
left it.
And we would play for hours.
Yeah, we would play for hours. We would also FaceTime each other for hours,
Hmm.
and like I feel like one time we FaceTime for like 6 hours, and you were like, okay, I have to go now, and I was just like, but why? Because
Yeah.
I had nothing to do when it wasn't school time because I didn't have any
Gigi,
extracurricular
I'm pretty sure
activities.
that that's why we had the lost years. We spent so much time together. If I spent time like that with you now, I would kill you.
If I spent time like that with you now, I would not talk to you for like a week. Like like if we spent like 2 weeks together and like in proximity with each other every single moment, I would spend like a month not talking to you.
Yeah.
I would be like, "Hi, Olivia," when we're at work, but that would be like it.
Yeah, I don't know how I mean, we went to school with each other every single day for
Yeah,
several hours, and we sat next to each other.
yeah.
How did
And
we
then they
like
would
each other
also
that
be like, "Shut up,"
much?
and we would be like, "No."
And we would spend recess together,
Yeah,
and
because nobody else wanted to spend recess with with us.
valid.
Because you
'Cause-
bullied people, and because I also was just kind of
because
like,
Gigi had an attitude.
yeah. I don't think I bullied people, but I definitely had some kind of an attitude that I don't know how I had. Like part of me wishes I still had that because like I would be able to control it now. Now that I'm sentient.
Well, and it's just like, oh, that's another thing we can talk about is our Christmas in school.
Ooh, yeah.
What did you wait, okay, so elementary school, we had a Christmas like concert,
Yeah.
right? And our class would always sing like a Christmas song and you would dress up for it.
Hmm.
Now, that event where we would dress up, I felt it was like the Met Gala. But for
There was no
7-year-olds.
red carpet on them.
No.
You just pose like right behind like in the gymnasium, and people would be like, "What is she doing?"
No, okay, so the funny thing about that is that my mom would always pick my dresses out because I didn't know how to dress.
Yeah.
And whenever she picked out a dress, it would always be one of the two, uncomfortable or I didn't like how it looked at the time. Now, when I look back on some of those outfits, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they were so cute." Like I was rocking it. And I was so jealous that the other girls were wearing like cuter stuff than me.
Hmm.
And like I'll look back and be like, "No, they weren't. I was just as cute as them."
Yeah. I know. I feel like it wasn't really with a lot of outfits because I had the opposite problem where if I put together an outfit myself, I would be like, I look so good in this, and then looking back, I'm like, why was I wearing leopard print tights under a poofy pink skirt with a blue top? Who let me
That
out
was
like that? And that person was my dad.
that
That's
was
how I would dress because I would dress myself to go like to breakfast with him. We would go to like IHOP. Um, and my mom wouldn't be up, so he would just let me dress myself. And then we would come home, and my mom would be up, and she would be like, "Why did you let her leave the house like that?" My dad always says it's like he thought that people were looking at him like, "This is the single dad that has his daughter for the weekend." um, But yeah, anyways, getting back to that. I always thought that I looked really good in everything as a younger kid. But as I got older, I was like, I look so fat. And then looking back, I was like, I was so skinny.
I know. Oh my god, I have that problem too. Like I used to like in like fifth, sixth grade, like when I started like getting older and like realizing how my body looked,
Yeah.
I would like suck in at all times. And realizing that, I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I even bother? I wasn't that fat.
Yeah.
And like I also realized that so I was like very self-conscious. And so I would always wear sweatshirts to school even if it was hot out.
Yeah.
And I just remember like doing that. And then when Christmas came around, I thought I was slaying the house down. And I look at the outfits that you wore, and I thought you were rocking it too. I thought you wore like the coolest stuff, and I was like, why doesn't my mom let me dress like that? But that's also how fashion was then.
Yeah.
Like
It
it
was
was
just throw
terrible.
something together. Yeah.
Like
Because
there were neon
remember,
colors on
it
the
was
regular.
2009. It was not very put together, especially
Mm-mm.
for younger kids. Um, but yeah, I remember looking at a photo of myself. I remember the exact photo that it is. I don't have it now though. Um, but I remember being my sister was like she wanted to take a picture of me with my niece um on like my old bed in my old house with like all of my stuffed animals and everything because my bed was made nice and everything. Um, and I remember I was like, I look awful today. I look so fat. I'm so ugly. And every time I look at that photo, I'm like, I think that was the skinniest I had ever been. Because it was like right after I got out of the hospital. So I was like, liquid IV skinny. Because that was how I was getting my nutrients, and also the hospital food sucked, so I wasn't eating it. And I just look at it now and I'm like, I thought it was fat. I thought I was ugly.
Gigi, I was always like, um, I always thought I was like, I don't know, when you're a kid, you don't understand body shapes. You
Yeah.
don't. But I remember thinking like whenever I would like go to Christmas, because like I said I have my annual family Christmas, and which I've managed to get away from for the past year. But I remember I would always dress up for that and try to outdress everybody there,
Oh yeah.
and I would always wear a dress for some reason. Like for like several years, I wore a dress,
Mhm.
and one year I decided to wear pants. And I got so many compliments that one time I wore pants. And I had never gotten compliments before. I'd always just wear like a dress. And I was like fine with that. I thought I looked pretty. Um, no. Dresses are not me. I just don't look good in them.
I know every holiday season I try to wear a dress, and there is like one dress that like I asked my mom to make for me because I found this like really cute fabric that was Christmassy, and it's like my Christmas dress now because
Yeah.
I gotta get wear out of it because that fabric was expensive. um, um, and like it's long, so it's like still comfortable, but I'm like on Christmas Day, like that's what I wear on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
I just wear if anybody gave me clothes on Christmas Day, then I'll just wear that, and it's usually like pants and a shirt.
Yeah.
Um, so like it's just whatever I throw together. And also one of these Christmases, I'm just gonna say fuck it and wear pajamas.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the Christmas attire is just like it's supposed to be nice, and I mean, I did do nice for many years.
Yeah,
But I am over it. I'm sick of it. So I'm just gonna wear whatever I want.
yeah.
And
Just gonna throw on a nice shirt, a nice pair of
yeah.
pants, and comfy shoes.
Gigi, we've gotten old.
Yeah, we have. Um,
But
and you're only 21 and I'm only 20, so
um
there's nowhere to go but down.
but also, did you ever do you do this? Okay. Video those YouTube shirts where they're like, "Do you do this?" Okay, do you
Olivia's.
do this? So, I always set aside like a week in advance my favorite pair of pajamas so I can wear them Christmas Eve and wear them on Christmas Day.
Yes, my mom always buys me a new like set of Christmas jammies, and I always make sure that they're clean for Christmas Eve so that I can wear them that night and then I can wake up and just be in that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know if this is just a conspiracy theory. Why are all of them so thin? They're all so thin. It's winter. They're all paper thin.
You know what? Doesn't bring it up. That's kind of.
I went to the store the other day because I was like, I really like the clothes that you gave me, but I need a set of pajamas that are actually like winter wearable. And I found something that was like nice and soft, and it was still thin-ish, so that if I get overheated, it's not like awful.
Yeah.
And they're very
You can
comfy.
always layer up.
Yeah. But like, they're also not very Christmassy. They're just like warm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to wear those thin ass. I'm gonna have to wear those thin ass pajamas.
No, and it's funny because I always wear like the pajama pants. Like on the regular, I wear my pajama pants.
Oh yeah.
Christmas Day, I save the pajama top.
Oh yeah.
I don't always wear the set. Only on Christmas. I save it for Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of the tops. Too many buttons.
You buy the ones with buttons. See, I'm talking
No,
about
I
like
get the ones with buttons.
I
don't
get
ask
the
for 'em.
ones I get the ones with like I get the ones that are just like patterned like t-shirt material. And the problem with t-shirt material for pants is that it's t-shirt material. It's like nylon or something, and it's like really thin. And it's just not very it's not very warm.
No.
Which means that on Christmas morning I'm gonna be freezing my ass off and either be like, okay, I'm wearing a sweatshirt over this that is not Christmassy, or I'm just gonna freeze. So
I when I was little, my mom would make me and my brother match. And
aw.
so we we would always wear like well, no, not always. Like I remember one year we wore like these I had like a plaid pajama dress
Mhm.
and he or like a nightgown and he had like, like a thermal top and thermal bottoms. And so we wore that. But I've come to realize that pajama nightgowns are very uncomfortable and don't work very well.
Yeah.
Because you can't like you'll just wake up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden like there's nothing on your legs.
Yeah. That's exactly how I don't know if you have pants that do this, but I have like pants that are I think you've seen me wear them because I always call them my casual pants because they're very bright and stripy and they're pajama pants. They're not actual pants. And they're very loose.
Mhm.
So when I wake up in the morning, they're rolled up to here, like on my
Yeah.
thighs.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it feels like I'm not. Why did I even bother wearing pants at this point?
I know. I know. I have that. My like favorite pair of pajama pants are like these nice like velvety kind, and they do that.
See, I don't
They're
think
fun
I've
standing, but
I don't think I've ever actually like owned a nightgown, but I found this shirt at Walmart that's really long and it like goes down to like my knees.
Mhm.
Um, so I wear that sometimes, like especially in the summer, but I don't like sleeping in it because of the riding up. So I usually put on like really short shorts underneath so that I don't feel like I'm like my ass is out. Which it isn't because it like goes past that, but it's still like when I stand up, it goes past that. But still in bed, it's just like no, I'm too exposed. The covers cannot see me like this.
I know. I know. I'll be like, what if it's dirty?
Yeah. What if my bed is too dirty for this, and then like I get an infection? I don't want that.
No,
It's also why I'm like, what? How does some men like sleep without underwear? Are you
yeah,
not scared of getting infections? You guys also don't wash your sheets as often as you're supposed to, anyways.
I know. A
You
little
gotta
scary.
choose one struggle.
No, I always have my destined pair of slippers too for Christmas.
Yeah,
Usually.
these are gonna be mine. Wearing Christmas Crocs for viewers, listeners.
Listener.
Well, my dad does view the pasta podcast. He puts it on the TV screen and he watches the still image.
He does. My dad listened
He
to it once
also,
and he said it was boring.
yeah.
We have
we have
criticism, Judy.
we have our first hater. Other than the other hater that
I think I
commented
texted you
something.
that once.
Yeah.
We have our first hater, and it's my dad.
And I went to YouTube to be like, what is it? What is it? To see like a comment or something, and you were like, oh, it's my dad. And I was like, oh, that doesn't matter. Have a
Barely the
good
police.
Christmas, everybody. Have a very good Christmas. And if you're watching this on Christmas Day, we thank you for your time. Now go back to your family, goddammit.
And if you don't have a family, we're sorry, Bruce Wayne.
You're now a
Um,
part of the pasta fam anyways, so you do have a family.
you do have a family. Thank you, pasta eaters, pasta fam. Um, you guys have been very good to us, all 10 of you. Um,
Yeah.
we do appreciate you listening in. We know that it's not not that exciting of a podcast. We don't have that much advice to give to you, but we do have our perspectives to give you.
Yeah, we do.
So, um, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I think that we'll be signing off now. All right. We hope you eat some good pasta. And we'll see you later, pasta fam.